Junk in the trunk, it's worth its weight in gold.
Yes, it is. We're talking about the vintage market, which is expected to be worth $41 billion by 2022.
How to find secondhand treasure is on the top of the list. We're ditching the big box stores and going vintage.
I think the best part about vintage is there really is something for everyone.
We went to the Junk in the Trunk vintage market to learn about antiquing, or junkin as they call it, for hidden gems with founders Lindsey, Holt and Coley, Arnold. First, discover vintage decor.
We really love kind of taking vintage pieces and reusing them in a different way that maybe it wasn't intended to use.
Old furniture can turn into a planter. Vintage car parts can become a statement piece.
One of my favorite pieces that we did at our home was a vintage pedal car, and it had this mint green chippy paint, and we turned it into a light.
It may take time to figure that out, so if you love it, grab it, because these items are usually one of a kind.
If you really love it, you'll find a place for it.
When your heart pitter-patters, just buy it. Just buy it.
Next up, uncover vintage clothing.
Look the item over carefully. Look for holes, snags, seams, sometimes like coming loose. The other thing I always like to check is the elastic.
If it does need a small fix, be honest with yourself.
If I buy something and it has like, oh, I'll sew a button back on there or I'll mend it, I'm not going to do it.
You're not going to do it.
We're not going to do it. So don't buy it, because then it will just sit in your closet.
And always size up, because those numbers have changed over the years.
So a size 12 in the old days would be like a size 6 today. So don't get offended by the tag, and
always try it on.
And finally, how to find vintage furniture.
I think one of the easiest places to start in terms of furniture are chairs, because you could kind of mix and match them. They don't have to be the same.
However, always check the frame. You don't want cracks in the wood.
But if there's something that has a really great sturdy frame, and maybe the fabric's just not your style, or it's kind of faded and worn, that's easy to replace.
If there's drawers, make sure to test each of them. And before you go, make sure you know the size of your space.
Always take the measurements before you come, and then bring a measuring tape with you so you can measure when you're shopping as well.
That piece may not be there next time, so you gotta be prepared.
You never regret anything more than the things you didn't buy. It's truth.
You can also shop with resale in mind. Find out the most valuable vintage items that could make you a buck at thelisttv.com. Finding gems in the junk is on the top of the list.